50 years ago, this land was all pasture land, and a dam has been created to flood this area, and now it is receding considerably due to climate change, perhaps climate change in inverted commas. We never ever thought that the lake levels would drop so considerably. It's like a ghost coming back to haunt us.
The other day, girls and boys, we went out on an excursion to Old Adaminaby. Can anyone recall what we saw out there? Isma?
The lake was really low.
The lake was really low, yeah.
We saw the 6 Mile Bridge.
The 6 Mile Bridge? What was significant about that, Bianca?
It's been underwater for so long.
Yeah, that's one of the main things, isn't it? It's been underwater for so long.
Droughts don't just suddenly occur, they creep up on you. And next year's going to rain and it doesn't rain. And then you're deeper and deeper in.
I don't know. My gut feeling is this one's a bit different. This might be the weather pattern for the next 20 or 30 years.
I think this is huge.
Where we're standing at this point, we would be considerably underwater.
Yeah, certainly.
Over probably 40 or 50 metres.
We don't have any reserves to live on. We're living on day-to-day rainfall events to create our water supply.
5 years ago would be what? 3/4 full.
It must have been.
Yeah, it would have been three-quarters full because the boat ramp was way up the blazes up there.
Yeah.
We had some kids with us and they were swimming at that point.
It's really hard for people to get water because we used to be able to pump water from the lake. It was just a river and then they flooded it to be a big lake and now it's back to a river. So there's practically no use in doing it.
We've been taken back by nature to what Australia really is. It's a land of drought and dry.
It's really starting to change my life because we're trying to get energy efficient light bulbs and we're trying to turn off lights and all that, and it's just hard to break out of old habits, and we have to because of climate change.
People have just become very used to it because it's not a new thing anymore. It's been for the last 3 or 4 years. We haven't been able to water anything with a hose or wash a car or have a long shower.
You can't really clean yourself really well when you only have 2 or 3 minutes in the shower.
The city that this reservoir supplies has been on level 5 water restrictions for about 4 years. That means people in that city are living on 150 litres of water per day per person, which is just extraordinary. The normal consumption is 3 or 4 times that.
There are two thoughts around. One is that it's global warming, and the other one is that it's just a natural climate cycle.
I think that it might be happening because of the El Nino effect.
What do I blame it on? I blame it on the moon because the moon controls the world's cycles of weather.
I don't know whether I'd be so game to say that it would be climate change exactly. I'd say it's cyclical.
The anthropogenic, as in human-caused warming that's going on, that can be even adding to the climate's natural variability.
I'm not really sure. I'm not scientific enough to know that.
If you're using a light, it's making greenhouse gases. If you're watching a TV or using a computer, it's making greenhouse gases.
We won't know about global warming definitively until the data's in, and by then it will be too late.
I don't think any of us can judge whether they're causally related. The key thing is that we must reduce our emissions.
Most of the emissions are generated by industry. In the local area, we've got the massive coal industry.
The scientists are very clear that if, globally, we do not halve our emissions by 2050, then we are definitely facing significant global impacts on our environment.
We need to move step by step from a total reliance on coal and oil towards alternate energy, wind farms, solar panels, tidal energy, all sorts of other energy systems, biofuels, biomass, ethanol.
Wind farms and solar panels don't produce CO2 emissions. It's not rocket science, you have to use more of those.
Abundant reserves of coal are available in at least 70 countries around the world. So it's the most widely available of any fuel source in the world. So consequently, it's used widely.
It is industry that supplies us with power. We don't ask for coal-fired power. That's just what they've got on offer.
We're addicted to coal in this country. There are other technologies that are available that we're not encouraging. In fact, some innovations that have been developed in Australia, invented in Australia, have actually been shifted offshore.
The difficulty is that those technologies in their current level of development cannot generate enough electricity globally to keep the lights on and to keep manufacturing processes going. The sun does not shine 24/7. The wind does not blow 24/7.
We need to be able to provide the technological means to remove CO2 from the energy cycle. That will take billions of dollars. It won't take millions of dollars.
What they talk about here in Australia, at least, is clean coal, and that word has become synonymous with geosequestration, which is capturing the carbon dioxide that's emitted from power stations and pumping it underground for storage.
The gases that are released from a power station when you burn any fossil fuel are more diffuse. So actually being able to capture that economically is the trickier part.
Does it make sense maybe to put money into windmills and solar panels that we know work, or is it good to put money into this possibility that we're going to be able to pump all that CO2 underground and just hope it stays there?
We have the advantage of having the technical capacity to actually roll out those clean coal technologies to ensure that that coal is used properly.
I mean, you'd never open this up now if you weren't doing anything about climate change.
The problems with geosequestration really are, you've swept the problem under the carpet, you know? I mean, it hasn't gone away, the CO2 is still there, it's just sitting underneath you.
If we are not prepared to move away from a fossil fuel-based economy, then we're going to get left behind.
Well, it worries me.
Why does it worry you?
Because, I don't know, it just worries me.
I really would like to be able to get a water pistol out and go squirt at everyone in my class.
There is no silver bullet solution to climate change. There's not one thing that we can do that's going to solve all of the problem.
These coal miners don't have any job security unless there's a solution found to the CO2 emissions from coal.
Everywhere across this continent, the word water is on everybody's lips.
All the predictions we've been given suggest that we need to make massive and the deepest cuts to our greenhouse emissions within the next 10 years.
Yes, we got rain a couple of weeks ago. Everybody's been out, ploughed, sowed, put in a crop. Now they're watching the sky to see if it's going to rain to keep that crop alive.
If we do things to help the earth, then in 30 years, everything will be fine.
Like